Well, hello everyone. When I read our scripture passage for today, I think of a dandelion. You know, the plant that start out yellow, but then change to have a white puffball on them. And you know what happens anytime a little kid sees a dandelion with the puffball? They immediately pluck it by the stem and pull it up out of the ground. Then they blow as hard as they can so that the puffball explodes and the seeds scatter everywhere, and the wind carries them far away. And in our scripture passage for today, the early church has also scattered everywhere, but not because they wanted to. Instead, many people have chosen to do a lot of sad and bad things to the early Christians in the early church. In fact, they have even murdered one of the early church leaders, Stephen. It almost feels like the enemies of the church wanted to do the same thing to the Christians that kids do to dandelions. They want to uproot the church from where they were planted in Jerusalem in order to kill it and then scatter the Christians everywhere so that they cannot meet anymore. And no doubt, the early Christians felt terrible when people started doing such mean things to them. But surprisingly enough, not one of the bad and sad things that anyone did to them ended up killing the early church. Actually, quite the opposite. Instead, as the early church scattered, they acted like dandelion seeds, blowing in the wind. Wherever they landed, they carried their faith in Jesus, told others about him, and shared his love, and thus planted more and more churches all over the place. And what happened in the early church can be a hopeful reminder for us. We will all have to deal with bad and sad things. And sometimes people will even do mean things to us specifically because we love Jesus. And we might wonder why God would ever allow that to happen. But we see in our passage for today that God can take even terrible things and use them to help spread his love and goodness in ways we could have never even imagined. So if you ever find yourself in a situation like that, it's okay to feel sad about the bad things. But at the same time, let us keep our eyes open to surprising things that God might do in and through a bad situation, and the opportunities that God has given us to scatter his love and goodness everywhere. And I hope that helps you understand our scripture passage just a little bit better. Goodbye, everyone.